Hey, survivors, good to be back. Making sure that my microphone is on. So, we're going to talk about the crazy making of gaslighting. That's one of the most toxic things about these relationships is they get it to where we start feeling like we're losing our mind. And what causes that? Why is gaslighting so toxic to us? So, when we're in a relationship with a narcissist, things are going along fine. And over time, so when you're thinking about the new supply, it takes time for this to develop. So over time, we start to feel off balance. We start to try to communicate, and communicating with the narcissist is almost next to impossible because they don't answer direct questions. And, there's times that we kind of accept what they're telling us. And then over time, it starts eating at us like something's just not right, or the way that they're communicating with us isn't giving us answers. And when they do give us answers, sometimes they get caught in lies. Narcissists love to lie. So we don't know the difference between the truth, a lie, and trying to figure out if our own perceptions are correct or incorrect. So there's a lot of things that start going on in our brain because we're trying to show empathy, we're trying to understand. We also feel like, why would they do that to us? Because we have this relationship already built up. Because of that love bombing stage where they bring us to almost euphoria. And over time, it gets us to where we question ourselves, where we don't know if we're doing something wrong, if we're the one that upset them. And the narcissist has hidden triggers, and they're hard to see sometimes. And when we try to communicate, they'll either lie about it because they don't want to admit to what they're feeling, what their shame is, and they have to protect that image at all costs. And over time, it starts damaging our brain. There's Samantha. Hey, Samantha, you're two for one. If that's how I word it. Good to have you here. You were here first yesterday. So good to have you. How's your day going? Um, it seems like you're getting stronger. You're starting to set up some boundaries, also giving some distance. But I know you're there for your kids. How's your day going, though? I had a great day today. Today was a good day. Like I said, you're going to have ups and downs, but it does get better. It really does get better. I've been feeling a lot more alive lately, and there is John flexing those muscles. Good to have you here. Um, so, John, how are you doing though? I had thought about one of the comments that you said about your person not being real sensitive to the loss. You had lost a 40-year girlfriend who was near and dear to you, gone too soon. And you started a new relationship. And this is where relationships get tricky. Um, and this is why sometimes we need time to heal. Samantha says, great day with your baby. Same with the narc. And it is, it's always the same with the narc over and over again. My ears are popping tonight, so I'm hearing myself breathe. It's going to drive me crazy. It's like echoing and breathing. Um, Samantha says, hello and lots of love. But, whatever trauma we go through, whether it's a loss of somebody or a loss of a relationship, because John, yeah, you had every right for her to be supportive, but this is where it gets tricky is if she was interested in a love relationship, she wanted that love relationship between you guys. And sometimes bringing up the past of an ex-lover can be difficult. So you needed support because you were still healing. And it was early in the relationship to where you hadn't figured out what you guys were. So, you know, uh, as a friend, it would have been easier for her to be there if it was nothing romantic. But it's kind of like a conflict of interest. To where she didn't want to think about the past. She didn't know you in that time. Um, it's just a hard dynamic. But moving on, when we start a new relationship, um, the more healed we are, the less kind of issues that come up. So that's why, if you're newly divorced or a widower, that it takes time to get back to where you need to be. That you can support yourself. Maybe talk about the past, like, yeah, it was sad, but relationships are tricky, but it would have been nice, if she was more empathetic towards that. John says the lawyer and I talked today about these people, the ones she put up to harassment towards me are now being evicted. I was going to ask you, I don't think I did. I was going to ask you to talk about that because a lot of us are like, is the narcissist ever going to get their karma? Samantha's man, he's on the verge of getting it. Like, you acted that bad, it's going down, um, and you continue are now being evicted. You have to testify in court tomorrow. I'll be fine. She preyed on my situation. Yeah, she knew you were kind of an easy prey. That's why when you're newly divorced, it was weird when I was pregnant. I got hit on a lot, more than ever. Now, I didn't really show, but I told you guys before how I was really lucky. But like, the people that knew, or some people could kind of tell, I just looked bloated. I look like the normal girl bloated. But it was interesting. They wanted to be the hero complex. And so sometimes they'll try to swoop you up that way. I'm not necessarily, I didn't get to know those people that well, but they basically wanted to be with me because they could save me in their eyes. And then with John, it's an easy target. Something to talk about. He's lonely, so he's, of course, going to spend time with me, but keep us posted. I'm glad that finally somebody is helping you with your situation. He's been dealing with kind of like a neighborhood situation where a lot of harassment and just a lot of frustration that he didn't necessarily need to go through. But we, with the crazy making, um, you know, uh, it can cause depression, anxiety, health issues, and it's almost like we start feeling ourselves, in a sense, die a little bit every day. And we want to get back to being healthy, so we try to do everything to make things better. And when we try that, it actually makes it worse. And it's hard to comprehend because we're so used to talking through things. But it turns into where the narcissist sees us as a nag if we try to assert boundaries. Um, they're trying desperately to break free from the trauma into this perfect life, and it's just never going to happen. So as they get new supply, um, it's a cycle that will repeat itself. And I've mentioned with the different divorce statistics, it almost matches up with the male female percentage on narcissism. And the more baggage people have, um, and narcissists are hard to figure out because they can act normal in certain situations. And then we're kind of too close to see the forest through the trees. And Samantha says, I want to break free from this mental cycle and abuse cycle. And they have a cycle. That's how they get us trauma bonded to them, because we're like, I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't, I'm freaking out. And then, oh, but they're trying. They're being sweet. Oh, they're so loving. This is exactly what I want. And then as soon as it gets nice again, it falls apart. It is a cycle. Thank you for that thumbs up. I see that helping with my algorithm. Um, you know, and when we try, it makes it worse. It makes it worse. It's uncomfortable. Their parents didn't try. Or if, we try to discuss it, we're not seeing them as perfect because they're not. They're human too. And that was you. Yeah, that cycle of abuse, it's never ending. And I've been studying more about how sadistic is it. And it was interesting that they removed it they had it in the DSM-3. We are now currently in the DSM-5. And they removed sadistic tendencies because um, they didn't want it to be used as a defense in court. Okay, so hurting people, they took that away so they can't use it as a mental illness, not able to stand trial. I think they wanted to convict more people for being sadistic. So that's the only reason it was removed. But what is a true diagnosis? Does it include any sadism? Who's perfect? Not me. Not me today. I went to curl my hair and I'm like, oh, I got to log in. But I had a lot of fun today. I got to teach English as a second language to the Japanese, and one lady, they over Christmas break went to Japan and they brought me back some Japanese sweet treats. Uh, I R2D2. John R2D2 is perfect. C3PO isn't with that one silver, one gold leg. But if you guys want, you feel free to share in on some of the cycles of abuse, or if you saw a pattern where it's every couple weeks, every couple years, it depends on the person. Uh, Oops, your baby did that. Really? Your 8-year-old? um, the 6-year-old. My daughter, she used to like remove my icons and she would put them in a heart shape. And she just thought it was so cute. She was like 6 when she did that. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. But I started really trying to figure out like why these relationships go bad, why any relationship goes bad. It's different with the narcissist, but it's amplified. Over time, people start having triggers in the relationship. Samantha says, my 2-year-old swiped the keyboard, and that's what came out. Really? It's so funny. Can I tell you my Princess Leia story? My sister, how old? Maybe 6, maybe she was 6, but we went to North Carolina and we were at a pool and we had just watched Star Wars. So she had brown hair. All the other sisters had blonde hair. So we told her to tell people that her name was Princess Leia. And she did. So it was so funny. Everybody at the campground, hi, Princess Leia. That's my Star Wars story. John says Han Solo and Chewbacca give thumbs up. I hope so. um, and little triggers. I had an example earlier to where little statements start you questioning certain things that you wonder what the person really meant. And that can kind of eat at you. John says, I just watched the last 4 chapters of Star Wars yesterday with your pet gang. John says, Samantha. Gosh, I can't even remember which ones I've watched and which ones I haven't. But talking about movies, the narcissists, they create their own story and um, they fabricate things. And why do they do that? Let's say hi to Calibri from Seattle. Good to have you in here. You hope everyone is doing well. It seems like we're having some pretty good days. There is Barrett. Hi, Barrett. Hello again. Hope everyone is doing well. Good to have you back. Feel free to join in, comment on each other. And John says hi to Barrett. So, uh, how does a narcissist control their own narrative? They will fabricate whatever they need to fabricate to twist the situation, to manipulate us to get whatever it is that they want. And, the abuse that we go through, some are angry, some are, it gets difficult when you have the different comorbidities. They're almost all narcissists have different comorbidities that affect the relationship. So there's not a catch-all. How do I know? How do I know? And the different triggers, some of it is when we set our boundaries because that's not what they want. They don't want someone with boundaries. And we've often not set those boundaries or thought things would get better. And happy Wednesday, Calibri Barrett says. And Kalili says, hi, John, Sam, and Barrett. Oh, I'm the forgotten one. But the communication with them, they don't give you direct answers, starts to drive you crazy. And it starts eating at us, where it's like, it's just a question, just answer it. And so it starts triggering us because we're used to good communication. We're sometimes stuck with this person or invested in love with this person. And John says, by the way, I got pretty far with the Mantis exobionic suit last night, and today took your time. Yeah, just enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Kalibi says, thanks, Barrett. So, Barrett, how's your day going? Kalibi, too. Samantha and John had some good days. I had a good day. Each new day is an adventure. So, you know, when we start, oh, Samantha, did you do your homework? Did you wink at yourself and tell you, I think you look beautiful? Did you do that? And I hope so, because we have to take control over things. You know, we have to encourage ourselves, be our own best friend. A lot of times we forget that, and we can slip into that rut of depression or rumination. I know one, I believe it was Ebony. She was on last night. Hopefully, she'll join us again. You guys have been really faithful and showing up, which is good. We're growing the channel. But she had said, like, I wonder, am I doing too much? Am I keeping myself stuck in rumination by, you know, watching all the YouTube things? Barrett says, going well, getting better and feeling better. First therapy session is tomorrow. So everybody clap your hands with someone who specializes. You were smart. Somebody who specializes in trauma resulting from NPD and BPD relationships. I am so glad you said that. If you go to a normal, um, you know, I don't mean to say normal, but your run of the mill therapist, they're not going to understand. They are not going to understand it. And sometimes churches, I'm Christian, so I'm not sure about synagogues, Muslims, all the mosques, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think they'd understand it the same way. So I'm very glad that you made sure you got somebody in trauma from MPD and BPD relationships. Make sure if you guys do go to therapy that you do that. Why? Well, that's the thing, JG. I'll be honest. I'm not a perfect Christian. I am not a perfect Christian. I do swear. You know, I've done things that I'm not proud of. So, you know, if that's what you're talking about, or let me know. Um, you know, I'm open to hearing what you have to say. You know, I would love to hear that. Uh, and Samantha says, yes, great, Barrett. John, I can even make templates to make realistic angel wings. That's what you were saying. That would be neat. Samantha says, I did try, Cynthia. I do acknowledge that I am beautiful on the inside without a problem. Good. And you're beautiful on the outside too. I've seen your picture. But JG, I'd like to hear more if you don't mind sharing. But that's the thing. You know, uh, faith is a journey as well. You know, there are times I've been mad at God. I posted a video that you might want to see, why you shouldn't be mad at God. And whether you guys are Christian or not, whatever your God is, you know, sometimes it's a blessing, the things we went through. And we don't always know that. Sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. So, Kalibi says, I don't fully agree with the Catholic Church's policies that are counterproductive. Um, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I can see that, Calibri. I know a little bit about Catholicism, how they have the extra books in the Bible. One of my best friends growing up was Catholic. So you question your beliefs and do more research on Christianity. So you question my beliefs, if I believe or the beliefs that I have. And there's always more research that can be done. Always. That is never ending. You know, Barrett says, you might find this interesting. I found old text with my ex girlfriend describing her relationship with her parents. She just ice people. Oh, she described them as ice people. Yeah, because they can be really cold if they're not relating to someone. Um, and that's more evidence. of her early childhood trauma that I overlooked. Yeah, sometimes, it can be indicative of a trauma that might affect relationships, if they've been through a lot of trauma. I was watching a video today, it was kind of just a stupid little whatever, but, it was one lady just going off on this cashier, and the cashier's taking it until, she said something that triggered her, and also, people don't like getting treated that way, she's just doing her job, but it was, it was all about power, and, um, so what are my beliefs? I do believe in God, as far as some of the biblical teachings, I think, are more poetic, where we're misunderstanding exactly what it was, and I can give you an example. I'm gonna kinda I talk different than, um, some people, but I relate back, so bear with me. But I talked about, like, how, my ex was giving me such a hard time. I said, "It's like he's kicking me and kicking me and kicking me when I'm down," and I just meant, metaphorically. I didn't mean it, so it gets put into a police report that way. Um, you know, I do believe, Jesus and all that stuff. I'm still, conflicted about, why it had to be that way, because that's extremely traumatic, and I did ask to go to a Christian school, but, I can't remember the names, I'm not perfect, but the one where he was supposed to kill his son, and then God stopped him at the last second, he was, like, testing him, like, that's some trauma, and, I don't know, but, as far as, like, the Big Bang and, evolution and, like, I could get deeper into it, but to me, whether it was a Big Bang, whether it was evolution, whether it was Adam and Eve, to me, it's not what I need to know. I just believe that it's God created, whichever way it is. So I'd rather spend my time on other things than the exact start. I believe it started. So, um, Kalibri says somehow the Catholic Church is sort of catching up, but they need to work on marriage equality and women's right to reproduction or the choice thereof. Um, yeah, there are people that, marriage equality, is it in the Bible, that we should or shouldn't have same-sex marriages, women's rights, when does life begin? And I had a miscarriage, and it's hard to tell when the actual soul enters the body, but there are like heartbeats, and all that stuff. It's tricky. It is tricky. Um, John says, I think that God is a quantum thing. We all have our own view of God does exist in the physical universe and through us. I just look at the intricacies, and you see certain cells or slices of certain things, and um, it's amazing the intricacy, how we are able to breathe and function and repair ourselves, and the fact that even just excrete waste to keep our bodies healthy and running and digesting our food, like it's miraculous. um but you have certain like coincidences when you pray for the best parking spot and you get it. It's like, was that a coincidence or is that God? And then there are some, I don't know. There's, there's, and told you too that what kind of really helped me understand is uh, feeling that evil presence of whether it was demonic or fallen angels or who knows, but my experiences. And, I tend to like the the happy, healthy, side as opposed to demonic. Um, Even twins are different from each other. Yeah, and they do have twin studies. Twin studies are quite interesting. Um, but even each twin, if you think about it, they can have the same household, but each one does not have the same experience. And a lot of people think, if I had 2 kids in this house, they all had the same shampoo, the same food, the same, whatever, style, like maybe I buy nothing more $30 an outfit. They both have, whatever it is, like it seems the same. It's not always the same because I'm gonna pick one up. I only have 2 hands, I can't do them at the same time, and, the jealousy between them, and then when they go to school, they might have different teachers and different grades, and they feel compared, and, Samantha says, "I understand you, Cynthia. We all do that sometimes." Good. Yeah, yeah. And that part of that too, and I'm trying to redo that. I've tried stopping saying so much because when you are with a narcissist, you have brain fog, you walk on eggshells, so you're real cautious on what you say. You also oversay things because you feel like you're not getting through. So I'm trying to undo narcissist talk because you guys aren't narcissists. You guys are healthy, and I just need to shoot from the hip, and you guys will understand, but a narcissist doesn't. So I've dealt with talking with them so much that I have to change dealing with every angle. Uh, for me, whys are kind of important, it, it's not necessarily necessary, but if you keep canceling on me, okay, your kids are sick. I get it. As opposed to you've canceled on me so many times, what's going on? Uh, but they're like, if we try to ask for a why, they don't want to give us why because it's probably a lie, and then they have to lie to us. Nathan is here. Good to have you back. And Nathan says, "Hey, brother John, back at you, Nathan from John. Hello." Uh, so Nathan, taking ownership. Samantha says, "My Nathan." Uh, Nathan says, "Where's my beauty queen, Sam?" She's here. She's right here in the chat room. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about her. JG says, "Coincident, thinking God looked out for you with that parking." No, and that's what I'm saying. Where it's like, but that's the thing. Like, does I think sometimes we are pawns. Everything is not about me. Every that I will say. A lot of people will think, why isn't God doing this for me? And that's where it kind of gets kind of sad, where, my God will protect me, you know? And, sometimes, it could be little tiny little gifts. Um, but I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know. But I have had some times. It was interesting too. I had a friend who, I don't know. There's people that have like vision. I don't know. I'm still trying to study the schizophrenia, or demonic possession. There's still questions that I'm going through, but I had a near death experience, two near death experiences, and it was the calmest I've ever been. I should have been freaking out, and it was the calmest thing. Also, seeing my dad. I don't know. Uh, so JG, what are your I can figure it all out. In time, I can figure out as much as I can. When my dad passed away, we were very lucky to have extra time with him. He knew he was dying. He was supposed to have a toe amputated, ended up having this bad infection in his shoulder. So they did that first. And then he was supposed to have surgery the next day. They couldn't do it. And then it kind of got him like super sick, and he just basically gave up. And he's a very religious man and had this vision of like all these post-it notes because he was always searching every little detail on every little thing. He read the Torah, the Quran, just the Bible, whatever else is even out there. And he always wanted every little answer. Amazing things he found out, and I wish I could regurgitate everything he said. A lot of cool evidence, but even on the virgin birth and how that could scientifically be possible. I wish I had it, but uh, I can kind of describe it, but it probably won't be enough to do it justice. But anyways, he saw all these post-it notes, and some you could see clear answers, others were foggy, like he kind of got the gist of it, and others were he just couldn't decipher it. And he was like, I think that was telling me you're never going to have all the answers. And the fact that he was able to stay with us for like 2, 3 more days, just enough time for my daughter to get there to see him. um I don't know, just the peace that he had. And I told you my mom's in the hospital. She has unrest within her because she's not religious. Calibri says greetings to Nathan. Nathan says hi JG and Calibri. Sam says, I believe that all things do work together for good to them that believe, even the small things. And if you think about it, it's just a peace within in your heart. And JG says, I've known people that would tell me they've had conversation with God. God talks to them. That's psychosis. It is interesting. You know, um, that's what's hard. What do you think about ghosts, JG? Do you believe in ghosts or demons? Because I've had experiences. Uh, I've seen and felt, but I haven't seen like an actual body other than on TV. But with today's technology, you never know. It's like, is that photoshopped? And Lily's, oh, you had to restart your phone. That's okay. Good to have you here, Lily. Nathan says hi. So does Sam. John, I'm putting out a video after the chat tonight for all the soul survivors of the world. I made it today. Hope everyone likes it. Yes, John has a channel. All you got to do is type in his name, and flawed psychology is everywhere you look. I don't agree with everything. I even did a video about Sam Vaknin. He's one of the most renowned, experts on narcissism. And uh, there's a couple things I'm not quite sure. Lily says, hello. Lily says, how is everyone? Nathan, Cynthia, even in your mom's not religious. Yes, please do. Please do. Because I know somebody tried comforting me about my grandmother, and they're like, she's in heaven now. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, what I'm really trying to figure out is our soul, because this is what I think. When you go to sleep, you your soul is still in you. I don't believe it leaves. You're asleep, or when you're in a coma. I talked to you about the two people I knew that were in comas and have talked to them. We do dream. Sometimes we remember them, sometimes we don't, but our soul is inside us. But we're not alert. We don't remember it. We don't experience it. So, what happens when our soul leaves our body? I had that one where I felt one, I told you about the sleep paralysis where it felt like something was trying to pull my soul out. And then I also had post car accident where I told you I hit my head and I fell, and I felt like something was pulling my soul out. And I screamed to God and came back. They talk about the white light, and they have scientific evidence on these things. So Nathan retracted it. Yeah, dreams come from good. Well, it's necessary to have dreams. We have to have the REM sleep, rapid eye movement, and you can't live more than 11 days without rapid eye movement. Um, and, uh where do our thoughts come from? Our thoughts are brought to the forefront, and our thoughts are brought to help us work through things. The brain is amazing. The things that we can remember, the things that we can recall is fascinating. I can uh, the way we communicate, the way we process things, the way we see things, and they're actually like the way when we look at them, they're upside down and they twist, so we see them the right way. Like it's crazy. But dreams, um, I don't know. They talk about some people feel they had dreams from God. I think it's our mind working through certain things. I've had questions just in my daily that I've been trying to figure out, and I've gotten answers. Just a stupid example, but it's a true example. My friend, we're in Michigan, and she met somebody from Florida, and this was back in the day when we didn't have really the internet, and she's trying to get in contact with them. And I had a dream to go to the library, get a phone book from Florida, his area, and look up his last name, and she was able to get his phone number. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? I would have never thought that. And I wasn't like a big laundry geek. Uh, sorry, library geek. Definitely not a laundry geek either. So some of it is us coping. Maybe we didn't cope with enough, or we wanted to help. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm still researching things. Like I'm kind of addicted to researching. There's so many different things out there that don't have answers. Even you guys know my degrees in criminal justice. Even some of the court cases that, somebody gets convicted, it seems like everything is there. And then DNA evidence finally comes true or found, needle in a haystack sometimes, and it changes the whole outcome. So that's kind of when we're looking at things, we go through life with all these different little pieces of evidence, and sometimes we have to change what we believe. Just because we believe it now doesn't always mean it's right, but based on our evidence, it's the best that we have, Um, Kalibi says, signs were sent to you by a good friend who passed on several years ago. After the dinner gathering with my friends, my partner and me were relaxing by a fireplace and a swish of cold air. And they do say it's supposed to be a cold feeling. Um, and there are others that have said kind of the same things. That's interesting. And especially when it shouldn't be cold, like, this is a somebody asked me, "Is it real?" It's real, but not real fire. Um, it is a real facade, a real fake fireplace, but it does blow hot air, and you shouldn't feel cold at that time. If everything, that smelled like candles that were put out. Oh, so it even had a scent. That's like a double thing. Nathan says, sounds like an episode on the TV show Paranoia. Huh. Yeah, there's unexplainable things, and our mind wants to explain it one way or another. And um, just like I told you, I had those creepy feelings. And um, Kalibi says, I had experienced sleep paralysis too. We talked about that, John, last year. And when I was living in Brooklyn back in the 80s. Um, and Lily says, like, I just visualized what Kalibi said, how your brain works or mine. Hey, JG, what's up? What's up? Lily says, JG, how's your day going today? Are you having a good or bad day? We really care about you. You're pricking my brain. It's not that big. It will be done in 20 minutes. I'm just teasing. And that's the thing. I will. I will. I believe there are. Uh, Look into psychology info on religious delusions, illusions, and beliefs. Also facades. my mother, who I told you is not religious, um, she would be like, "Do you think Jesus would like that? Don't say shut up. Do you think Jesus would like it?" And she used it to control us. So it was obvious because we knew. But there are people out there like, Jesus loves you. Don't talk that way. But it can be a facade. I had another friend who I think she's like partially on her journey. But she was going through a divorce. A good Christian woman like me, a good Christian. And I'm like, I think you're no better than me, but I'm probably a better Christian, but not trying to compare each other. But I'm just saying, um, you're not a nun. It's like, to where that's your argument. Um, you're a faulted human who has your beliefs, if that makes any sense. But Leila says, I bet people were dying to get in there into my brain. Sam says, haha, Nathan. Um, and you said, Calibri says, oh, we used to live next to a cemetery back in Brooklyn, about a block away. That's where I had my first bout with, oh, that's where you had your first bout with sleep paralysis. I knew I was awake facing the ceiling. And I told you that I had an experience too. Sometimes too, and I'm not discounting you. I'm just saying some people may be afraid, and that fear of like, oh, I'm creeped out. I'm living by a cemetery. The fear can cause certain things too. JG says Jesus was a smart guy, walked in water, could turn water into wine, just a tall tale character. Um, that I think is poetic. I don't think, um, I don't think it was actual wine. That's me. Um, walked on water. That might be poetic too. Overcame boundaries that no. So I don't think everything in the Bible is word for word. Just like sometimes I talk a lot in analogies. So yeah, Nathan wants to know how you're doing today. So that's awesome, Nathan, because like I said, it was really good having you back in chat yesterday. It was nice you came back. Lily dying to get in there because Calibri said, oh, I'm a bimbo. Lily, yes, okay. I forgot about that joke. Oh, talking about jokes, guess what I had today? And I went along with it, even though I knew what it was. Okay, Miss Schiller, lift my hand, put your finger, put your finger in, swirl it around. Thanks for cleaning my toilet. And I'm like, whatever, I'll fall for it. I'll entertain you, kid. But yeah, I forgot about that joke too. Dying to get in there. Calibri, I was a feeling that I couldn't move my arms or legs to get away. I had it too. I couldn't even form my thoughts. Um, did you have any pain? I just had, I didn't have pain, but it felt like my soul was being ripped out. And what's really weird though, JG and everybody, is when we have certain feelings, it happened to me twice. Why is it like the life center? Why does it come from here? Why doesn't it some portal out my hand or my leg? What are waking dreams? I'll double check just to make sure our interpretation is the same on that terminology. You didn't, yeah, I didn't experience any pain. Were you exhausted during, after, or before you laid down? Samantha says, I believe it to be literal. There are some metaphors in the Bible as well, but I know God of the Bible has been with me through all my life. And yeah, some is literal. Others, I wonder. But that's fine. That's your belief. And um, after the sleep, you were exhausted. I can't remember what I was after. And that's just in all honesty. I don't remember muscle aches or exhaustion. I might have. Um, I just remember the trauma from that. So, are you talking about hypnagogia? hypnagogic hallucinations. Um, so, waking dreams, an episode of dreamlike visual imagery experienced when one is not asleep. The term is sometimes applied to hallucinations, religious visions, and the like. Um, so, these hallucinations aren't a symptom of mental illness. Experts don't know exactly what causes them, but they know they aren't a cause for concern. They're simply something that your brain might do to process during the process of falling asleep. Um, I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. I'll study. Thank you. Remind me that, John. I want to look more into that because you do wonder. It sounds like because it says experience when one is not asleep. Um, is it just during the falling process? Thank you for that thumbs up. I appreciate that. But hallucinations, I'm going to look more into that too. I think what that is our brain is struggling, uh, just the misfires. I'd like to answer that better for you. Remind me. See, that's what I thought. Make you think you're wide awake. This is saying that you dream when you're not asleep. So there's a difference between those terminologies. It's almost like the exact opposite. That's why I want to go into it deeper. I've had dreams that I thought actually happened. So based on that definition, that's why I wanted to look it up first. Based on that definition to your interpretation, going on your interpretation, uh, what do I feel about that? We'll do that, and then I'll go more into waking dreams when I get the exact definition of that, so we can go into it further. Um, it Yeah, that I don't know. I've had some where they seemed so real, which I kind of think is a twist on your interpretation to where you're like, no, that did happen. That 100% happened to where you will like lay down your life on it. Don't do that though. But I don't know if that's just desire or fear. I'll look more into that. I do want to, that's interesting. Uh, Sometimes we get our answers. Sometimes it's our mind still working through things, our mind being creative, little things that we need. Just like when we're pregnant, we crave stupid things like running through, what was it? Deviled ham. Never had it in my life. I have to add deviled ham and macaroni and cheese with soy sauce. My body needed salt. And then another pregnancy, which I lost, but it was all fat. That's all I wanted. I was 14 pounds underweight when I got pregnant, and I just wanted butter, peanut butter cereals, just peanut butter and butter. That's all I craved. It's our body needing something. And maybe when we're sleeping, it's what our mind needs to settle back down. Samantha says, you believe Lazarus was truly dead to show us that even if something is what we'd call beyond help, God is still able to raise up and we'd consider dead. That one, I kind of think so too. I think that one is not necessarily, I don't know. Um, I kind of believe that one, because it is kind of like Alpha State. Kind of. John says it was like a regular dream, but I got the impression of actually being there. Um, would you would you have laid it down so much where you're like it 1000% happened? Because I've had dreams like that where you're like, no. But then you have dreams where it's like it felt really real, I could feel him kissing me or whatever, like you feel it, but you're like, no, it didn't really happen. Oh, Nathan gave me a like. Thank you. A couple of you guys did. That helps with the algorithm. Still trying to figure out the algorithm for YouTube. I had posted something yesterday right after I left you guys after chat, and I did some, they have like 1 to 13 likes and then or views. And then I had one, I was like, "Wait, what?" And, as from last night to tonight, it's got 1,900 or yeah, 1,900, 1,900 views. I have another one that had, I don't remember, several hundred views, and then a couple it's like, "Wait, what?" It's like they're not that much better. Same hashtags and everything. It's like, my goodness, such a difference. Um, it's not like 200, 300, 250. It's like almost 2,000 compared to 4. So I can't figure it out. But thank you guys. Oh, somebody else help me out. Help the blonde out. She's trying to figure life out. Lily says, like, you're falling asleep and you're dreaming because you're so tired. Could be kind of that cusp. Your brain's just like, you know what? We're just gonna start that REM sleep. Screw waiting for the cycle. Uh, Not walking, but I think you're right. Just as you enter REM state. Um, yeah, and what is it you can't smell? Supposedly you can't smell during REM sleep, which is kind of scary if you're in a house fire. You know. Samantha says, lucid dreams also is something to be aware of. It's very real and you're in control over it. It's in the mind. I've had it a couple times where I'm like, screw this. I went back to bed and you're like, I'm finishing this. And you do. So it's kind of like I controlled it. JG to Nathan, why do you ask? Why, he is a very caring person. If that's why you're asking, why he's asking how you are. So I think it's genuine. But Nathan, go ahead and let JG know why you asked him how he's doing. Libri says, "Did I mention to you that a group of 5 people marched into your actual unit without any expression, just like robots? This was back in late 2000. I just got out of the shower and hurriedly put on a towel." And these are people. When you say unit, sometimes apartment complexes will have, 4 up top, 4 beneath with like a stairs up. Um, what do you mean by unit? Because I have this is my unit, my townhome, but it's connected to, I don't know, 7 or 8, probably 6 or 8. I don't consider that a unit, but are you considering or your actual apartment as your unit? You probably, I don't know exactly what you mean. You're probably meaning the group of apartments, but my mind takes it to individual unit. But Khalid, I'm sure that was scary when people don't show any expression. It gets scary because you don't know if they're in a bad mood, you don't know if they're angry, you don't know if they're happy, you don't know their next move. And John says that's crazy, Calibri. Now I suspect that these people seem under the spell done by the narc woman. um I don't know. I don't know, kind of like I don't. And are you sure she's like a narcissist, not borderline or schizophrenic? And I'm not saying she's not. Uh, I don't know her, so that's why I'm asking. Sometimes, like with John, I think she was more schizo. That one person was a little, I don't know. Uh, but you say now I suspect that these people seem under the spell. Leah says REM, right, not alpha. Do you know when alpha is, John? Kalibi, that's why my installing an additional 2 locks on my door makes me feel safe somewhat. And yeah, keep yourself safe. Definitely keep yourself safe. They also, I haven't checked into them. I shouldn't say that. I have checked into them. Get security. I am thinking about doing that where you can see who's there. It's a good idea to do that, or peepholes or things like that. Kalibi says that's why. Okay. Samantha says to the Christian belief, resurrection is an absolute 100. So there you go. Sam says it, it's law. Um, and you know, faith is important. So I had told my mom, I asked her, she doesn't know what she believes, and that's what broke my heart. I have a lot of Jewish friends, Muslim friends. Like when I went over to China, um, just people. I don't really judge people on what they believe, um, but I just wanted her to believe and know what she believed. She doesn't want to take the time to know what she believes, and that breaks my heart, because my faith is important to me. Sad thing about my dad believed so much he got kind of overly excited about it, and I think he pushed more people away. So maybe that's why I'm a little bit less outspoken about it. JG says resurrection is part of the tale. So JG, what do you believe? It doesn't sound like you believe the same as Sam and I. So, and that's fine. But what do you believe? Um, Kalibi says that's why these narcs just refuse to believe that their creator watches every bad deed that they've done. And this is the thing, whether you believe in the God that I believe or a different God or not quite sure yet on what a God is for you. But, they say, can a narcissist, really love God? Um, they want to control their own destiny. They don't have the faith that God helps those that help themselves, but um they don't have what love is. Patience, kindness. um I don't know. There are a lot of different beliefs. JG says creator watching everything you've done is a delusion. I don't think I've been thinking about that too. Uh I don't think, does he, some say, kind of like Santa Claus or something, he writes down every little thing. Is God going to ask me if I brushed my teeth today? Um, and you know, it's hard. But I kind of wonder, is it really that intricate? Because you think about ants or something, and everything's like, they're doing what they're supposed to do, whatever ants do, but one or two dwindle off, and those are the ones that are going to get noticed. Um, so I think, as like like maybe it has something to do with like the energy that he you can see the energy is off. Maybe he feels something like that because it changes when you want to steal something or you're lying, or it's hard to explain. Um, is he going to be mad? I was messy today, or, I think it's more the gist of it, not every little thing, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Because anything, and this is where JG, and Sam, join in. Anybody else, please join in with your interpretation. This is what I have a problem with, because I have my beliefs, but they say any sin is just as bad, no matter what it is. So, Cynthia stole a pack of gum, and Katie murdered 80 people, and I don't know, is there any grace at that, because I'm tarnished, but was it that big of a deal? And to go to hell over, and I also too, like, if you're doing a really good job, you're living the Christian life, and you get in a car accident, you're like, fuck, or gee, damn it. Um, Oops, now you're going to hell, that kind of stuff. Uh, and that gets hard. It messes with your mind. Like, how do I make up my mind on that? So Nathan says Sam's up to Sam too. Thumbs up to Sam too. Um, so yeah, Samantha says we still love you, JG, no matter what you believe, and that's the thing. We do. Because this is the thing, some people, it's kind of sad that they do discard people on their beliefs, but and I'm not trying to change you, JG, but there are times that people change and drift away and come back, and it's this journey in life that we all go through. John says, I've heard scientists say we really don't exist. Really? I'm right here. No, you're not. um, yeah, I've heard that too. And it's like, come on, my mind's already fucked enough from this narcissistic abuse. They're gaslighting you. That's that crazy making. Um, yeah, I've heard that too. Samantha said, and that's a mind fuck. Like what? Or that I don't know. There's so many mind fucks out there. Sam says, "How was your day, my Nathan?" Lily, a lot of narcs are cold and robotic. Yeah, because they just do what they do what just works, and uh, they just go through the motions. You're right. Um, there are some though that hold on, concerned because you think I'm. Are you saying I'm what? Um, Oh, are you talking to Nathan? Like he's concerned over a specific topic? I I think he just thinks you had a rough day yesterday, and we care about you. Seemed like you had a rough day yesterday with one of your comments, so that touches our heart that we want you to have a brighter outlook. You know, because you're coming to our convention when I get really big with YouTube, and we're going to go to Australia this time, and that'll be when I'm 98. It'll be a ways. Uh, I don't know. Uh, we just care about you. Kalibi says that, and she can't stand people getting new cars. She expressed to me someone is envious because I bought a sports car several years ago. I don't think of what she said. I didn't think of what she said. Crazy. Crazy. Kalibi. But now I realized I was dealing with a narc, but being envious is their brand of sickness. That's part of it. Yeah. Whether it's envious of somebody's time, anything that distracts from them, it gives them that envy or jealousy, just an unhealthy state. So, how can, like, they can't be happy for other people, you know? And they look at it as like they're just trying to show off. They're just trying to show they're better than us. But that's because she wants to be able to do that. Um, it's Samantha says, Nathan, mine has been good with my babies, enjoying them. And Samantha, you're so lucky to still have little ones. Lily says, I used to have a coworker woman like late, always jealous. Are you saying Nate or late? Late, always jealous of people's new cars and clothes. True narc. What a waste of time. Are you saying like Calibri? It was Calibri who I believe said that. Um, but yeah, jealous of people. They don't want to celebrate for other people. And yeah, you look back and you're like, that was a waste of my effort. Samantha says, well, JG, as you spoke of having some struggles yesterday, we are thinking about you and care about you enough to follow through with you and ask. And that's a true, empathetic response where you are on our mind. You know, you touched our hearts and you're still on our mind, and we want to make sure you're okay. The narcissist will be like, geez, what's all this bitching about? Or we addressed it yesterday. It's just a different way of looking at things. We come from a different heart set. I don't know if that's a correct term, but I think you know what I mean. Kalibi says that's how they react, Lily. They are envious of people around them. Nathan says, you're right. Nothing personal, JG. If I offended, I meant no harm. I ask about anyone. I think we're friends on here. Meant no harm. And glad you spend time with those baby Sam. And that's what I said. Like Nathan, he's been pretty faithful coming in here, and he does try to reach out to everyone. He's not trying to personally attack you or call you out. It seems he's genuine. So uh, just trying to build the community, and you're one of them. As long as you log in. So JJ says, belief is formed while the truth exists. Truth has only one version and it never changes. Belief changes constantly. And yeah, because belief is not based on concrete evidence. Some of it might be, but it's still pieces missing. And um, that's a good point, just like Lily says. And that's why faith can be hard. You just have to trust your heart. And the evidence you get is gonna lead you different ways. That's why with the narcissist, we don't always have all those pieces, so we don't ever have the truth. You know, the lies cause gaps in the relationship, and it starts eating away at our brain with the um, gaslighting, to where now there's another that we keep getting more and more holes. So that's why it starts pulling us away. You know, like if you took religion and you added to the evidence, your belief is going to continue. But if you get more and more holes in it, like, oh, Jesus was now a woman, and Jesus this, and then, oh, it was intersex, or they actually had sex, baby, and it's like a hole after hole after hole, and you're like, I don't know what to believe, screw this. um and that's kind of what it's like with the narcissist, is we get more and more holes, which just destabilizes us, our beliefs, and it's, yeah, there is no truth. Other relationships, you have enough evidence that it's um you know pretty close. uh, Samantha says there is grace, and no, not every sin is treated the same. Definitely, and that's the thing. I think there should be different degrees of sin, and they also do say with, and I don't know which churches you guys have gone to. These are just the ones I've gone to, about the jewels in heaven, the crown. The jewels on your crown. I don't think we're walking around with tiaras, but um, like a hierarchy of, uh, and that's what that's what we are here. I got a nice place, but it is not the nicest. And it's like, can't we all just like go to this beautiful heaven? No, you're in Motel 6 over there. You're in I don't even know, chain wise, the Hilton over there, because you have more crown jewels. But so if we want, on the good part, if we want it all to be the same, um, or I'm sorry, if we want differentiation, how do I word? If there is differentiation in the rewards, then shouldn't there be differentiation in the punishment? But nope. So that kind of makes you wonder certain things too. I don't have enough concrete evidence to counter all answers on religion. I just go by what I know, what I believe, and I wish my dad was still here. Like, I should bring him on. Mind blowing. Samantha says, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, okay. There is grace, and no, not every sin is treated the same. And condition of the heart, which God knows. That's why He's a righteous judge. Because you start thinking, like, well, I've had some miscarriages, and some people, I think it was Calibri who was bringing up women's rights. When is a baby a human? Will I see that baby in heaven? Or, according to some people, it wasn't a soul yet. So, you know, um, people believe different things on that, you know. So Nathan says, Sam, I'm coming to Ohio when it gets warmer. Sam, LOL. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Sam, you deleted something. Uh-oh. Sam says, I'm looking forward to that, Nathan. I'm your chaperone for the first time you guys meet. I just want free coffee. Not trying to interfere. Lily says, what you want for us to believe is not what the actual truth is. Heard that somewhere, and how true for the recipient of gaslighting. Yeah. Yeah. And, it does make you question too. Like, there are arguments, that it's a control thing. Religion was made for control, you know. Everybody believes different things. Nathan says, I'm serious, Sam. I've been to Ohio before. We're neighbor states. Kaliri, that's why we don't share anything personal with them. Good things that we were able to be achieved. Yeah, because it's just going to cause problems, or they're going to see that we're bragging. If I'm like, oh, I just graduated, got my whatever degree, or I got an award, they're like, you think I can't get that? Um, yeah, they take it as an insult, and it's like, oh my gosh, I was just celebrating. And Lily says, JG, you were talking morbid last night, so snap out of it. We just we should live the longest life that we can, or happiest, and not have like an end. That's why, when you don't know when you're going to die, should live every day in the moment. And um, I don't know, we care about you. It was kind of tugged at our heartstrings, some of the things that you said. So Lily says, there, got that elephant out. Yeah, the elephant in the room. Are you talking about me? I'm on a diet. Be nice. I'll leave. Samantha said, oh, I had a compliment today. I went like this or something, and this one little girl's like, you're really skinny. You look like a teenager. Like, oh, okay. I was like, thanks. Samantha says, Nathan, you've been to the Cleveland area. I don't really like the big city, though. It's chaotic. I'm much more of a country kind of girl. Yeehaw. Haha. Don't write me to Lily. Lily says, what you mean? Lily likes to shoot from the hip, but it's still a caring way, but yeah, sometimes he did say haha. So Nathan, and the written word can be taken different too. That's why texting isn't always the best way to get a final answer on things. Oh, and Jen is back in the room. Hey, Jen, we can't know what a judge or God will do. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it depends on their mood of the day. I'm in court all the time with my narc. You're right. It does matter. And they even say that what the is it afternoon is less convictions. I'm trying to remember. It's one way or the other, but I think they said something. Lunch is sticking in my head where they say after lunch you're more likely to get out of a conviction because they've already eaten. I think also they just want to go home. Police officers do that too. It's like, I'm not writing this up. I don't want to stay after. So timing makes a difference too. Hunger. Some people get cranky. So, yeah, Jen, thank you for saying that. It does depend on who the judge is. That's why there's really no fairness or equity in the court system. Also, with the varying sentences, 3 to 20 years. It's like, and some have discretion, like 2 weeks, you're fine. It's like, yeah, somebody else got how many years? Um, so Nathan says we're friends. That's all. Still want coffee. Nathan says I've been to Cleveland, and of the big cities, you're nearest to Cleveland. JG, delusions are strong in here, and that's all right. Feel free to share what you feel. You know, but as far as the evidence on narcissism and the abuse, I do want us to be careful though on the abuse. There are times that we've handled things the wrong way to where they didn't necessarily stimulate our reaction that day. There are things that we have done wrong too that were narcissistic, and it just gets back and forth. But I know with me, um, I was never dismissive. I might not have understood, so I tried discussing it. Um, the only time maybe it might have been considered, it's so weird how it works. It's like a mind fuck. I had mentioned that one time that my first one, we were living together. He went out to the bar and then went to like a uh, bonfire after and didn't get home till, I can't remember, 3:30, 4 o'clock or something a.m. And like he worked till 11. Sometimes it takes like 11:30 midnight, and then with the drive home. But I I just said, "Oh, who was there?" Or maybe it was either he said something about breakfast, and I might have asked what they ate. Would you guys have, or something like that? And he took offense. I think it was about the food. I don't think I asked about the people. Um, but and memories get fogged over time too, which makes things difficult too. But so he just kind of went off on me, think and I can't remember his exact words, but I remember I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. He's like, no, you want to know, you want to know, and he started chasing after me, not like running, but you know. So I had shut it down. I don't know if you consider that dismissive or not, but I tried to communicate with him. And then I was like, no, it's okay. Like, I didn't need to know. Like, I did trust him. I don't think anything at that time happened. It was kind of what the cops did, but who knows, but um, you'll get me coffee. Oh, yay. I actually have a Starbucks gift card. So if we meet at Starbucks, one of the parents got me a $10 card. I get just the black coffee. So if you want a fancy coffee, you might have to kick in a couple bucks. No, that's okay. So I'll give you the $10 gift card, and you can get whatever kind of fancy coffee, and then you can get my coffee. I think that's a fair trade. Jen says we can't know. I'm sorry, Jen, you're the nurse. Um, she's in court too. We also court transcriber or reporter. JG says writing, I want to die at a certain point in my life. Got you guys. Yeah, because you say you want to. It's a little different than most people, unless they're depressed. Unless they're depressed, they'll say that. So that's why. Some people are either scared of getting old or afraid of ailments, but there's something causing you to want to have it at 40. I'm 52, a little arthritis, but I feel just the same as I did when I was 30, so that's a 12-year difference. If you say 40, you would have missed out on a lot of life, a lot of good times, even though I've been through all that abuse, I've still grown a lot. And I just, I don't know, be different if you said 70, 80 or something, but why 40? What made you pick 40? How about that? What made you pick 40? That would be interesting. Because like I said, I still feel the same at least at 40. I still feel the same. Lily says, oh, that's a true compliment. Jen, yes, okay. Jen is the nurse. I don't know where you live, but I know some nurses are going on strike. It was interesting. I was watching the news, and they had said, they had nurses where they were the hero back when COVID started. And they're like, they were kind of stroking their ego so they wouldn't walk out. They're risking their lives. Then they turn around and they're like, you need to get vaccinated or screw you, you're out. They're bullying them into, we need them, especially at this juncture. And so now we're treating them like they're disposable. Now they're fighting back. So Lily says he doesn't like me anymore. If you're asking me about court, okay, I think you're asking Jen about court, that you said you're in court with your narc. So are you talking relational dissolvement? Samantha says, oh, Cynthia, I'll get you a good coffee and anything else you'd like. Oh, you guys are awesome. John says, yeah, John has to go to court tomorrow. So good luck to John against the very people that caused most of the situation. Is the number one? She's not going to be there, though, is she? She's not involved. Did she move or get evicted? Kalibi saying, good luck to you. Hope justice will be served. Lily, compliment from your student. Oh, I like that. Yeah, the teenager part. I'm like, oh, Yeah, because I've heard, I'm thin or something, but not that, oh, you look like a teenager. Like, oh. John says, thanks, Calibri. Yeah, so keep us posted. No, not me in court, Jen said. Yeah, I was referring to Jen on that one. Sorry if I misspoke. I've been teaching all day. I even had English as a second language today. I haven't had a break today. So bear with me. All I had today to eat, too. I came home on break. I had to go grocery shopping after English as a second language. Went grocery shopping because I had no dog food. So I stopped and gave, I just bought a piece of pizza and gave it to my dog. So all I've had today is 3/4 of a pickle. For some reason, this brand is super vinegary and I had to throw it out. I couldn't. I like pickles. I'm not super picky on them either. It was just an overload of salt and vinegar that it is too much. It was overpowering. So I am eating. I finally went grocery shopping. My neighbor right now is like, I'm cooking the chicken you gave me. I gave him some chicken to cook me. Samantha says, Nathan, how far? Like I gave him for his dinner. He didn't have any food, so I gave him that and told him to save me leftovers. Sam says, Nathan, how far away are you from Cleveland? If you don't mind me asking. He is 6 or 7 or 8 hours away, but you can answer. That's my guess. Lily, they worked you during your planning. I answered emails. So I work during my planning. I did have where I had to take extra time because we had a teacher go home. So I had 2 hours I had to cover for a teacher, which overlapped some of my planning time. Samantha says, not picky about pickles 10 times fast. Haha. Not picky about pickles, not picky about pickles. That would be hard, especially after the long day. You can only talk so much. And it affects my voice. I had a friend, they're like, what's up with your voice? And I'm like, it's just from talking so much all day long. Starts getting to you. Yeah, one of the words I was teaching today is I'm supposed to ask, does your mother, we did this one game and the question was, does your mother speak softly? So I have to do, soft, soft, hard, and trying to explain different, like, how do you explain your mother speaking softly? So I wanted them to know there's different, you can use it for stuffed animals, soft, or, different body parts or whatever. But so I had talk harsh and I was talking really harsh. So that's another reason my voice is frazzled. So Calibri, you had mentioned, if you're still here, I don't know if you're still here. You mentioned about them walking like robots, uh, and do you, I'm interested more on that. You guys are awesome with those likes. I definitely appreciate it. But that crazy making, Samantha, you're probably starting to feel some of that more and more. Um, Compared to last year, is it about the same or how much worse is it getting? Any of you guys that have been through it, was it like a gradual um, devaluation or how many times did you break up with your person? It's worse than last year. Has it been progressively worse or were there a few years where it seemed better? Because that devaluation stage can kind of flip flop. It's when they need something and they do go back to old supplies when they need someone, but the triggers are already there. That's why if they ever do get back with a person, it usually implodes a lot quicker because, you know, they come back expecting a completely fresh start where, you know, um, none of the issues have to be addressed and at least worked through. You can't dwell on it. Like if it is to succeed, you can't dwell on it. You have to come to an agreement and stick to it. John says she's still at the complex here, but I've not seen her. She's not part of this. Only the people she put up to things and used. Ooh, huh. Lila says I am only to do the like once. One time, like in forever? Are you saying I'm not sure what you mean, Lily. Yeah, I know you can only do it one time. You can do it in every video if you want. Wouldn't that be nice if you just that'd be make me happy? But no, definitely, oh, definitely want to help you guys through this journey. Yeah, that it took me a minute. It's so funny. You're like, I wouldn't have typed it if you would have talked faster, Cynthia. So that's all right. If you just do it once, that still helps. It definitely helps. Samantha says only when pregnant it was tolerable. Not even then. Come to think of it, first pregnancy, he didn't let me get medical attention till I was third trimester. Was he saying it was financial? Did he come up? And that's the thing is, you know, some people see certain things differently too. Uh, and maybe, I don't know, some might be more naive on the needs, but then you hear stories too of people who were fine without intervention or medical advice at those times. Um, but was it a normal pregnancy? Did you have difficulties? It is good. They get you on prenatal vitamins, they do the sugar test, all that stuff, which is the grossest thing. That was, oh. Jen says, I was new supply 3 times and old supply 4 times. I adore you. I feel you, girl. Um, yeah. Big hugs to you, Jen. It sucks. And you got out quicker than a lot of people. A lot of times it takes up to like 7 times. And Lily says, yes, Senate highlights. Oh, okay, gotcha. I know. It's like, oh, all right. John says she may get hers from others. I did say she's getting a bad reputation. Yeah, you did tell me that. You did tell me that. And that's the thing. Their mask eventually falls. That's the karma that they get. And they're not always able to get this perfect life, that they end up usually making it worse by trying to make it better. We make it worse by trying to make it better too. Um, but that's why 2 people wanting to make it better, it works. One person wanting to make it better, it's going to be too much on one person. The other's going to take advantage of it, and it just takes time for that dynamic to foster. Same with entitlement. I brought up the actors and singers. It takes time to foster that entitlement, um, and they just either enjoy it and feel they deserve it, or get addicted to it. They get addicted to us, whether we're always taking care of whatever, that now it's expected instead of appreciated. So if we can't come through for some reason, or we have a bad time, that I'm still doing live chat half hour. She was so indecisive and wanted me to be in control. Yes, but he was just lazy, doesn't want to do anything. What? Okay, thanks. Half hour. um so I told you they made me dinner. I like to half hour. You thought we could hit the like button more. Anyway, moving on. Say, well, Sam, he didn't let you. He was so indecisive and wanted to be in control, but he was just lazy, doesn't want to do anything. It was a healthy pregnancy. Thank God. So when you say lazy, is he also not willing to take you to the doctor? I don't know if you have your own car or if he lets you drive a communal car. Sometimes too, we become that dependent. And Sam says, I tried to leave 3 years ago. I ended up apologizing and staying, promised to do better. So you took on the guilt that it was your fault, um, based on how you worded that. I've changed a lot since then. I was manipulated into saying it was really my fault. I wanted to leave abuser. And we often do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called too many times is really us saying, I'm sorry I wanted to communicate. But we do, there are times that we overdo that too. We don't give them enough time, but uh, we give them what we feel is fair plus some. So, I just wanted to talk and it's like 9 days. Like, am I discarded? Like, it gets confusing. Like, we didn't even have a fight or what's going on? Or can't we just work it out? It's just not healthy to let it go that long. Uh, it's too long. Um, I don't know. Sometimes you need breaks, but breaks, it's better to work through the problem without allowing it to stew or fester. Sam says, so unhealthy relationship. Sam, he wouldn't do anything for himself. He would wait till others did it for him. Oh, yeah. And that kind of goes along with what I see with the vulnerable. The grandiose, in my eyes, seem to do more for themselves because they have to. They have to achieve. Um, and the vulnerable kind of get neglected. I think the grandiose get more attention because they're the golden child. We got to go to a football practice. We got to do this. We got to do that. And let's get you a really nice outfit and you're going to look awesome. And we're taking you to voice lessons, whatever it is. But they get a lot more. We're going to get your hair cut. You know, um, parents might want to brag about the kid. I don't know. But the vulnerable, they can be lazy because they probably grew up in a house where the parents weren't concerned. They were either concerned about drinking or partying or sleeping around, not really paying attention to the kids. Grandiose, one parent at least was paying attention. Interesting dynamics on how even our childhood is how we communicate. It forms our personality. So yeah, I'm glad that you had a healthy 3 healthy pregnancies. And yeah, mine bailed on Lamaze class. It's kind of like I went to the first, it was supposed to be, I think, a series of 6. And the last one, he bailed on me. And it's kind of like, I bought all these little gifts for all the other moms, little care packages because I was just so excited about being a new mom. And they had like some cool bottles and bibs. And I was too embarrassed to go. So I dropped off the gifts and didn't go to the last Lamaze. Kind of heartbroken over that. That was, something we were supposed to do together, and he couldn't be bothered. Sam says he wouldn't do anything for himself. Lily, yes, Lily, Sam says. And that's the thing, he tried to leave. And how long was it better for? It probably wasn't better for a long time. And a lot of times too is you were pregnant with the last one at that time? Because 3 years is close. 'Cause you have a 2-year-old. Did you get pregnant? Did you come back? Were you already pregnant um, with your 2-year-old at that time, or was the baby afterwards? Because sometimes it's just because of the kid. You know, uh, you got pregnant after. Okay, okay, but you already still had 2 kids too. So that's the source of supply too. They think these kids are going to be daddy, 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 and um, it is nice. Like, I think you like hugs and kisses from the kids. John says that a narcissist for you, only their needs count. Um, and they do give some. They do give some. Um, but in times of high stress, that's when it's all about them. And that's usually when you need to come together and be strong. Um, you know, um, because during that love bombing stage, they are giving something, but it's the purpose behind it, you know, just like, I don't know, a John, no, a man paying for sex. Um, He is giving something. Could be quite a bit, but what's the purpose behind it? Just to get what he wants. So, sometimes we're like, you brought me roses, or look at my beautiful necklace. It's like, yeah, people are paying $1,000 for sex. Like, he just bought you a $500 necklace. He's saving money, you know? Um, and that's why intention really matters, yeah, so it is for their needs. It is for their needs. There are times they will put food on the plates for a kid, you know, and us, sometimes, but then I I don't know. I don't know if I would say I can't say everything they do isn't toxic, but a lot of things are toxic. So you're dealing with toxicity. S- Um, just like if I had a sore right here that was eating away at me, my whole body isn't toxic, but this spreading is going to lead to my demise. So, how much of them is toxic? It doesn't have to be the entirety. It's the spread that you have to be worried about. I told you about my spider bite, how it started spreading, a little brown recluse spider bite. Um, you either take care of it and get rid of the toxicity, or it's just gonna get worse. So, John says, I really was patient with that girl with that, and I just saw right through a lot of stuff. And yeah, but we have to be honest though, John, she also had you flip flopping back and forth where you're like, nope, I realize now that she's on the up and up. And then you're like, I know for sure she's a narcissist. Nope. I thought about it, or we talked about it. And, you were really past toxic. Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost like, the infiltration of the infection comes too far. So, it it destroys you, you know. Um, yeah, it gets past toxic. That we start having to react. We have to react to all this confusion because it is like a terrible state that we're in. That we have this need to make it better, to understand. If we don't understand, we don't know how to make it better. And there's times where we have certain things in life that we can't figure out how to fix I don't know, washing machine or whatever. It's frustrating, but the answers aren't in that machine. The answers to how to help us make this work can only be from the narcissist. Because I could say right now, you need to cook better. You need to make sure, I don't know, you seduce them twice a week or whatever I say to you. That that could be wrong for him. Whatever is their need is what's gonna kind of help. So it's stupid that they destroy so many relationships. John's, you were confused, yeah, and it was driving you crazy. It was driving you crazy at that time, real crazy to where you got real upset. Um, that one night that I, for some reason, logged in at 4:30 in the morning. It was difficult to figure out at first, but you were able to see through it then. Eventually, you're like, I get it. Um, yeah. So I'm going to tell you what, guys, I'm going to go ahead and log off. I haven't eaten today. Really, I just had it a little bit. So we'll do another live chat tomorrow if that sounds good with you guys. Read up on gaslighting and religion. Okay, I will. I will. And I'm sure there is some of it. That's the thing too. Even with the pastors, uh, um, I will. I will definitely. And it gets confusing too because of different interpretations of the Bible and translations. What I could say is, something could be gorgeous, beautiful, and pretty. You guys are going to have a different picture in your head, and sometimes it gets a little twisted, kind of like that operator game where, you know, I love cows, I love sows, because they didn't hear it right. And then, you know, I like whatever, it gets all changed. It's like that wasn't the original meaning. So big hugs to you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys again. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you soon. Topics are always welcome. So JG, I will look that up. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good night. Bye.